Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 98-91 loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. Riker, the Toronto Raptors were able to get a big win against the Grizzlies last week, and now without Ja Morant, the Grizzlies came in here and whooped the Toronto Raptors. They tried to come back with some late game heroics, as the Raptors always try to do at these games, but we just can't string together a few W's right now, and it's not a massive losing streak right now, but our only two real wins are against the Kings, who have been brutal. We got rid of Luke Walton as a coach, and now the Grizzlies, the Grizzlies a few days ago. Riker, where are we at as a team currently watching these games?
First of all, is it November 30th today?
Yes, sir.
Look at this. Final score, 82-90. What's the NBA app doing? I thought that looked suspicious. So I was trying to figure out what was happening there. Official score, read it out again.
98-91.
98-91. Listen, it's tough to say that you can watch these games and feel any glimmer of excitement, and that's just a fact. I think that all of the realists this year that didn't have the Raptors pegged to make the playoffs, they're kind of laughing in their home dens right now at us who tried to paint the picture of optimism at the beginning of the season. But let's face it, we were really hoping that the Raptors' individual defensive talent and ability to create transition offense was what was going to keep us in these games, and ability to win regular season games. We knew we didn't have a star, or probably we'd have to find a star through this season if we wanted to make a playoff push or a playoff run. But we figured we'd win those regular season games because of the hustle, the defense, the ability to get stops, create transition offense, and finish because of our athleticism and length. But those things just aren't happening. And Ben, they're getting beat up in many ways, in the paint, on defense, everywhere. It's tough to watch. There is positives. It's tough to watch.
Yeah, it's tough to watch. And now we do have to say OG Anunoby and Gary Trent Jr. have been out, who for a lot of the season have been some of our top performers. So we do have to factor that in. And there's a lot of stats coming out about the Toronto Raptors having a very weak bench this season. And, when your top guys are out, it's tough to get those W's. But still, just watching this game, it's tough. It's a tough watch. The Raptors look lethargic out there, and it wasn't really. Boucher gave some good minutes at the end. In the fourth quarter, Siakam went on some runs. Scottie Barnes in the third quarter gave some push. We'll talk about all those players individually, but we need someone, right? That leadership, that vocal leadership of Kyle Lowry, that really, because even when Lowry was on the court last season, the team didn't really look lethargic. We just get bullied in the paint, right? And now that's occasionally happening in these games right here, but at least for the first half of the season, until we were overtly tanking last year, they were exciting to watch. We'd lose a lot of games, and until we got hit with those health and safety protocols midway through the year, we'd be excited, we'd be elated, even if the record didn't indicate that this team was that great, so to speak. But I don't know, the energy is definitely just seems to be a little bit off, especially in the past few games. Riker, before we dive into the players and the positives, do the Raptors need to make a trade? Are we tanking? What do we need to do at this point in the season in your eyes?
Win a couple of games, Ben. Get some confidence back, because even Scottie Barnes, the energy guy, doesn't seem to be playing with energy. He seems to be getting frustrated. And we know that leaches off onto other players, especially when he was the guy to come in and bring that youth, bring that passion, bring that energy. But it's just coming very sporadically. And we see at the end of this game, if people want that kind of quick summary, it's that the Raptors were lagging behind. They were trailing because they weren't in it, like you said. End of the game, 12 points down. Pascal Siakam scores 6 in a row in the paint. Then what does he do? Puts up 2 threes in a row. Utah puts up 2 threes in a row. Scottie Barnes shoots a couple threes. Now he makes them. Game starts coming a little closer a little bit. Malachi Flynn hits a wide open jumper, but we were making our points in the paint, right, through good ball movement. And then all of a sudden we decided to just start hucking up threes, not making any of them, not converting quick in the possession, right? One pass shot early in the shot clock. It's just some confusing stuff that I'm still looking at Nick Nurse on some nights to make better lineup changes, some nights to just settle the team down. It's just a big mess overall. I'm being overly critical here, but Ben, Are we a tanking team? Maybe not. Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? As of right now, absolutely. No way. No way they would make the playoffs.
Well, we need to certainly play better. I think this team still has the pieces to be good, to go on a little run this season and get things going, but they have to be put together properly. And the one shining light in this game, and I guess we got to give that award early, Riker. Do you want to get a little drum roll going? Because tonight, the Scottie Barnes Award, it has to go to the man himself, Scottie Barnes, with 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks in this game as well, Riker. A couple of rookie plays out there that some people will roast, and we'll get to some of them in the segments. However, if there's one saving grace to this season, it's Scottie Barnes' Rookie of the Year campaign is looking glorious. Right, he's coming out. Not only is he hitting threes now at this point, 3 of 6. You and I saw him take 9 in the last game. He's finishing around the rim, and in the third quarter, particularly when Siakam went out, he just started to take over this game. And then down the stretch, when he was given the ball, he made some right decisions. The jump shot's looking slick. The jump shot's looking, pretty fire out there, Riker. If that's an added part, and we're seeing the development of Scottie Barnes. Even those roles being limited, his touches are getting less and less as the season really has gone along. Even though he took 16 shots tonight, he's just an absolute beast out there, Riker.
He took 9 shots. He didn't make 9. Or sorry, took 9
took 9
threes. Didn't make 9 threes last game. That would have been crazy. 27 points on threes. But he is, and he has been since the beginning of the season, a terrific mid-range jump shooter, and now he's stretching the court and shooting it with confidence over Jaren Jackson Jr., who had himself a game as well. And I thought he really got the best of Scottie Barnes tonight, who has been a really good defender against a lot of good guys in the NBA, but Jaren Jackson Jr. was physically imposing himself on Scottie Barnes. But now Scottie Barnes, he did pretty good on the offensive side. The issue tonight, Ben, was his IQ, right? A couple of terrible transition opportunities, and then a couple of really bad late game turnovers. So he needs to get a little bit better at that stuff. But again, our expectations are that this guy needs to close the game for us, and he's the rookie. We should be looking at Pascal Siakam to finish, right? When he starts going on those runs, don't start shooting threes. But we'll get into the criticisms of him when it's his turn.
Yeah, no, we can talk about Pascal because he has been slandered left, right, and center. We made a meme out of Josh just roasting Pascal on those live streams. Definitely check out Josh's live watch-alongs. They're a lot of fun to join in on. But Pascal, I thought, obviously at the start of this game, the first half, didn't really have things going. Looked like Pascal that has really come to play this season, not really that energized, a bit out of it, missing those shots around the rim. However, in the second half, right, particularly in the fourth quarter, he really made a solid run for this team. He was doing a good job at getting into the paint, getting to his spots, and the shots were going down, right? Those half spins, when he does them aggressively and he's not just constantly backing it down, they are effective, especially when the jump shot in the mid he's going, when he has those threats rocking. 20 points for Pascal, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks for him tonight. Riker, if Pascal can do these sorts of things night in, night out, particularly play the way he played down the stretch of this game, with exception to a couple shots late in the game, but the Raptors were clawing back for anything. You'd obviously want him to go more than 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. This is the Pascal Siakam we want to see. Now, maybe he's still recovering from injury and all that sort of stuff. The excuses have been, at least I've been given the excuses to Pascal over the past few years. The patience is wearing a little bit thin, but it's nice to see him have stretches of basketball where he has taken over the game, and this is what we need. Especially, obviously, Scottie Barnes is going to be a guy that, as you said, is going to make a couple of rookie plays when the offenses or the defense is all clustered in on him and all that sort of stuff, Riker. But I don't know. What would you see out of Pascal Siakam tonight?
Well, what I saw is that the box score is deceiving. 20 points. 50% from the field, 3 blocks, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. You're thinking he's definitely turning a page. You look at that fourth quarter run that you mentioned, but shot 1 for 5 from 3. He was shooting inefficient all night. And what happens when he brings the game within 6? His possession previous was he backed down Kyle Anderson or Slow-Mo, I think, in the post, scored on him, easy bucket. Then the next 2 possessions in the row, he decides to take early shot clock 3-pointers. And it's just his IQ that is so darn irritating that, to me, it's quite unacceptable for a guy that is your max contract number one option player, especially when he's seeing what is allowing him to be successful and bring the team back. Then he pulls this trickery and starts shooting threes when that's really not his game, and it hasn't been this season. So he fails the eye test. Somebody saying that in the comment section, Ben. And another guy that I want to bag on while my anger is high, or my issues are at the forefront, is Precious Achiuwa, who shot 1 for 8 from the field today.
You're not leaving it for the segments. We had a segment gifted to us, dropped in our laps.
That was okay. I had some different ideas already planned out, Ben.
Okay. Yeah.
I had some different ideas already planned out, but I wanted to bring him up for specifically because it's only recently that we've decided to part ways indefinitely with Goran Dragic, the same way that the New York Knicks have parted indefinitely with Kemba Walker. So that was an L on the Kyle Lowry trade. And now Precious Achiuwa, unfortunately, who has a segment named after him, who started the Summer League hot, who started the season hot, he's now looking like an L. And it just really sucks that all of the players that made a really fun Raptors Digest podcast to talk about over the last couple of years, Ibaka and Lowry and DeRozan and all of these guys, we've essentially got nothing back for them. So all of our hope rests on Precious Achiuwa. I hope he finds a way to turn it around, because even against a team that's not that big in Memphis, he still struggles. He disappears, and it's tough to watch.
Yeah. And Aiden's out here asking for the Blue Jays Digest. We talk about that later in the pod during the final alarm, but we're trying to cook some stuff up. However, Ryker, the Precious propaganda, that animation, is he looking like the next Giannis? Looking better than Bam right now? Is this, because speaking of which, Bueno Kitty is calling for it in the chat there. Precious propaganda or Precious proper slander right now? Because, as you said, 5 points for Precious, 1 of 8 from the field, 5 rebounds, 6 personal fouls, and the touch? A serious question right now.
The touch sucks.
Getting some ASMR going, but Ryker, serious question. Bismack Biyombo, first half of his season with the Toronto Raptors, or Precious Achiuwa? Who has the tougher touch around the rim? Biz turned it around.
Give me the old trolley question.
No, who's
rather? What do we call those? The trolley paradox.
The trolley paradox.
Yeah, it's the way you pull a lever, you get one person, you save one person, or a bunch of people. It's just like a very impossible question to answer, an impossible moral question. You're giving me an impossible. What's the better of two bad scenarios in Bismack Biyombo or Precious Achiuwa?
Yeah, well, it was probably Biz. Biz was tough. Those blown bunnies were a tough look to see, but Biz was able to turn it around quickly for the Toronto Raptors. So hopefully Precious, that's my dose of Precious propaganda for the day. If Biz can turn it around after being a center that's, defensive oriented, athletic, right, has struggled finishing around the rim, but did have a midi at times, right, then we'll be good. And honestly, I just want to see Biz back on the roster. But thank you, Bueno Kitty, for the super chat. But Ryker, there were some other positives I want to bring up. Fred VanVleet didn't have the greatest game tonight, but did have some moments. Had 9 rebounds, which is pretty cool to see. But Yuta Watanabe off the bench, 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 29 minutes. But I thought Nurse, he gave a bunch of run in the fourth quarter to Malachi Flynn over Yuta Watanabe, while the Delano Banton, Yuta, and Scottie Barnes lineup was really what energized this roster and brought us back into the game. So, well, what were your thoughts on Yuta coming out and balling out there?
Now, I know the NBA is tripping here tonight because, for a fact, Malachi Flynn had a 3 in the fourth quarter when the game was close.
Yeah,
did he not?
He was one of 7 from the 3-point line, 5 points.
Okay, all right. On the box score on NBA.com that I'm looking at, he's 0 for 6. So okay. I know for a fact they're tripping here on their score. So you're saying Yuta got 29 minutes tonight?
Yep.
Yeah. And he looked all right, didn't he? He just missed some big,
down the stretch,
wide open 3-pointers that would have been impactful in this game.
Mm-hmm.
again, you're looking at a guy who really is only in a second season of meaningful play, and what can you expect from him? But this is also a scrub Memphis team, I would have to say, when Steven Adams goes down with injury and John Morant's already out. It's tough.
Big tough. And Yuta Watanabe is obviously, he had the headband going in this game, hit some threes early. The question mark last season was, could Yuta hit those open shots? He's always going to hustle. He's always going to do those little things out there on the court, got 6 rebounds, but could he go out there and be an offensive threat? And I thought he did for a large chunk, but as you said, down the stretch, that 3-point shot's still not the most reliable thing in the world, right? But I'd rather see him, and maybe the break that he took with Malachi Flynn being thrown in there. Flynn's 3-point shot has really not been reliable. And Ryker, what's happening with Malachi? Is it a confidence thing right now? Because he did hit a nice mini, and he did hit 1-3 down the stretch, but we were calling him fourth quarter Flynn, the Crimson Flynn. Flynn's sanity at the end of last season, the confidence was high, and just those open looks. I'm not talking about the dribble pull-ups with hands in his face, but those open looks just haven't been going down for Malachi this year. People were saying he could really come in, and you and I thought he'd probably come in and be that backup point guard for this team. Obviously, Nick Nurse kept him on a tight leash at the start of this year. Is his confidence shaken? Is he just not that guy? What's the expectations now for Malachi Flynn as he's gotten some minutes over the last few games? Because he has not looked up to par.
Well, Ben, Precious doesn't have that inside touch. Malachi Flynn doesn't have that outside touch.
The touch sucks.
Bro, it's just not there for the team right now. Everybody's lacking in confidence, except for poor Scottie Barnes, who just ain't getting the shots that we want him to get. So it is what it is, Ben. An interesting game, one that it was a little bit dejecting to watch, and I spent a lot of it hand on the face on the pillow, eyeballs closed. So maybe we'll swing it into the segments here.
You need a
and let it go off the
of
rails.
Fiji water sprayed into your face, Riker, watching these games. But I kept my eyes open for this one. My eyes were open. However, I was probably in the same state of mind. The feedback, the TV energy was coming in. It wasn't like that live energy in the arena, even though we watched the Raptors get blown out by the Boston Celtics. But it was coming in through the brain and just kind of expunged. But I think that's how the Raptors are looking right now. But yeah, I definitely agree. We got to swing into the segments. And tonight, the spicy play of the day. Siakam did have some stretches at the end. People are still disappointed in Siakam. He didn't pass the eye test. And definitely for most of the game didn't pass the eye test. But it's going to the Scottie Barnes Award winner, Scottie Barnes, who got a steal in this game and did his classic look back, driving in the lane. And then Steven Adams was kind of, do I go for the block? Do I not? And Scotty's just looking at him, and he almost fumbled the basketball. But I love that energy from Scottie Barnes, ready to just roast the guy he stole the ball from, finishing the lane. You're looking like you're
giving the spicy Pele to a fast break layup.
If he's staring down the guy behind him, a steal, I like Scottie Barnes doing that stuff.
It probably takes him 5-6 inches to jump off the ground and dunk the ball. I mean, what's his standing reach? It's probably 9'2". He can dunk so easily. You can't be giving the spicy Pele to fast break layups. Get out of here.
Yo,
he only played on a fast break layup. Chill.
Clearly, you've never played on LA Fitness. Are you the king of LA Fitness, Riker?
Listen. We can get into that here in the final 2 minutes, Ben. It has to go to the man. He was benched. My internet connection is unstable. I'm on the right internet. I'm getting the banner. Might be going to HE double 2 sticks in a hand basket. If you can spell, you know what that means. But end of the third, perfect play drawn up. There's not a lot of times we've been complimenting Nick Nurse this season, but he draws up a play where Chris Boucher grabs the inbound, boom, yams it home at the buzzer to close the third. That's the spicy Pele for me, sir. Yeah,
that was an exciting play, an exciting yam for him. But, I like the stare down, Riker. I like the ego play, but not all plays can be the spicy play of the day, and some just make you say, "Oh, geez." And tonight, the OG's play of the day. You gotta go to those missed shots at the end when they verbally make you say, "Oh, geez." You're spewing the OG stuff. We talked about it earlier. I'm also giving not a Kazoo, but I'm giving an OG's to Alvin Williams. It's a two-parter to these segments. He was flaming Scottie Barnes for doing the little look back. He was throwing the slander out on Scottie Barnes' name, saying, "Well, you can't do that. The coach is not going to like that." Nah, especially if we're losing. I want to see some stare downs. I want to see some hyped up energy. Get out of here with that Alvin Williams. Get out that old school mentality. Scottie Barnes keeps staring him down. We love to see it.
This is not me hating on Alvin Williams, specifically on him.
Yeah.
But there's no chemistry between him and Matty D. Virtually zero. And it is tough because there's no banter. There's no back and forth. It's basically Matty D carrying the whole color commentating play-by-play role. And then Alvin Williams from time to time saying something like very basic, and it's tough. You want them to have a little bit more chemistry in the broadcasting booth. Maybe somebody has, or the comment section has different opinion than me. I just don't find them enjoyable to listen to at all. They got rid of Twine and Dine for those two, right? They got rid of Twine and Dine. Maddie and Leo together were hilarious. So I just hope that Alvin, I think he's being too reserved. He's being too cautious. He's worried about stumbling on his words. He just needs to get into it. Have fun.
I thought the chemistry's been building up. But I didn't like
But they
it.
never have banter. They're never laughing.
Yeah, it's building.
Right?
It's Leo and Maddie have been going for years. That's
what they need to do is give Alvin Williams, just like the NBA players go back and watch tape. Get Alvin Williams to go back and watch tape of other broadcasters, specifically the Charlotte Hornets announcers, and just look at their energy, right? Their reactions to things. It could go a long way then.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is, right? Given the OGs there to old Al to the shots at the end, lay vibes, but Riker, we gotta sound it off with the infamous. It's becoming infamous. The one, the only Paul Pierce Golden Kazoo Award of the night, and Bonga came in. He hit a free throw, but have you seen him hit a field goal yet this season? I've seen not to just be satirical or whatever, but has he scored in his minutes?
Allow me to search it up while you continue to make your commentary on him,
because he's coming out there and he came in expected as a rookie with the LA Lakers as a point guard, right? So okay, he's big, he can handle, he can do these sorts of things. He's a bit small for a true big man, but he's coming out on the wing, and he's the version of a tweener that is looked at in a positive light, but the Anthony Bennett style tweener, where he's not really a guard, he's not really a big, he's not doing a lot much out there. And if we're dropping Ishmael Wainwright and Sam Decker for Bonga, I know the team must see something in him. He must be doing something well in practice, but I don't know. I don't want to throw a full Golden Kazoo to him just because it's tough to come in there with little minutes, but he did get 11 minutes in this game here tonight. But yeah, that's the one precious I was going to sound off.
One for 4, but I don't know if it's updated, so it's probably 1 for 6.
Okay, yeah, because he's missed those 2 field goals and stuff. I don't recall a bucket going in for Bonk. Maybe when one goes in, things will just completely turn around for Isaac Bonka. Do you have anyone else you want to throw out a Golden Kazoo? You said you had some in mind.
I was going to give it to Nick Nurse in this one because I just don't see how the team can be so poor on defense, right? How they can be shooting so many threes when it's not falling for the team, when you can start to find yourself on a run and then all of a sudden there's no play calling and no sets to really put your team in a position to come back and win it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm living in the old days where the coaches had a bigger role on the team or something like that. But I feel like Nick Nurse should at least have the power to intervene and say, look call some plays. Score the
Please,
basket.
sir.
Run the ball through the post. My
Call some
God.
plays.
Please, guys, please. Jeez.
The thing about it too, I'm watching Nick Nurse out there, and he's usually yelling at referees, getting in that squat stance, ready to go. He's just chilling there now. He's just looking back, vibing on the sideline. I read something there saying that he has 35,000 vinyl records. He owns 35,000. So he's probably got some earpiece going, just jamming out to some tunes while the Raptors go out there and get smoked.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He's not paying attention. He's like, oh, you just playing well. Malachi, go in there for him. You know, it's the rotations have been weird. The team has been weird this season, but I'm still confident. Top 4 seed is still happening.
Let me ask you this. Oh, whoa. Never mind. I thought Isaac Bonga has played some games in the 905.
Has he?
I thought he did.
I heard the 905 have been playing well. Should we switch this to a 905 digest so we have some energy, some fun stuff to talk about?
Okay, here we go. Yeah. Isaac Bonga, 4 games played.
Okay.
Averaging 34 minutes per game. All right. Shooting 55% from the field, 43% from 3. I'll leave it to you to guess how many points per game, rebounds per game he's averaging.
What did you say the 3-point percentage was?
43% from 3.
Okay.
55% overall.
Okay.
He's averaging 34 minutes per game. Guess his points and rebounds totals.
I'd say 26 and 11.
Very close.
Really?
23 and 9. So you can see how there's such a big jump in skill level from the G League to the actual NBA, where this guy looks pretty legit. I mean, he's by far the best player on the G League team, is Isaac Bonga. Now, Banton played 1 game and dropped a 30p, 7 rebounds, 9 assists.
Yep.
But Isaac Bonga's played 4 games, and he's looking the best. So, I mean, he's clearly no scrub. It's just the NBA. It's tough to translate.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And people are saying Ozil the Beast saying got a cop a Delano Banton 905 jersey for the culture. You know, he's averaging that stat line down there. That's a superstar. And Raptors got some 905 legends. So you'll love to see it. I once did the 905 Photoshop Riker of LiAngelo Ball back in the day. So that might be the jersey I have to cop, just in honor of that. One of the first Photoshops I made on the Raptors Digest YouTube channel. But Riker, I think it's time. I think it's time to sound off that alarm and see what people are saying about this game.
Woo, 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 woo. Beep, 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 beep.
That's right, the final alarm has gone off. It's sounded. Things are happening, and as is tradition, get a little like spike going for following the final alarm. And people aren't liking my 4th seed take. That's fair. I was flexing it earlier when we were looking nice, but I'm gonna stick with it. And draft Mark Williams in the 2nd round. Do you know who Mark Williams is?
No. Also, Logan saying any NBA player looks good in the G League, it means nothing. Well, it does, because we were basically implying that Isaac Bonga is not the quality of an NBA player because he doesn't look good out there on the court. But you're implying he is good enough to be an NBA player. Therefore, it's not that impressive. So the impressive part is that he technically, by your criteria, is an NBA player, which we're just not seeing out there. So it's pretty interesting, Ben. There's a ton of guys in the draft. If we do decide to tank, we have Banchero, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who's like 6'10", Jason Tatum type player, also Duke product. We have Chet Holmgren or something like that, who's that big 7'3" kind of Kristaps Porzingis mold, but a little bit more skillful with his dribbling. And then a couple of guys who I've just seen here and there in highlights, but haven't committed any of the names to memory yet. So, Ben, you said at the beginning of the podcast, I didn't want to let it get off the rails at that point. Are we tanking? I think we are. I'm comfortable to say it now that we're at the end of the podcast. I feel like we're tanking.
No. We're not tanking. I had a mental just scramble inside my brain, and I came out with no. I was actually about to come out with. I saw that the Rockets might be shopping Christian Wood, so he could be that piece. He could be that guy.
Listen, buddy, he's still not a 7-foot center, so we wouldn't solve any issues
How tall
there.
is Christian Wood?
6'10".
That's 6'10". That's tall enough. He's long. He's wiry. He's a true.
That's
center.
1 inch taller than Achiuwa.
Yeah, but that's 2 inches shorter than Marcus Hall. He's got those long arms. I'd love to get Christian Wood onto this roster. You and I wanted him 2 seasons ago, and we didn't get him. So if we can trade for him on the cheap, love to see it. The touch sucks, wee from Bueno Kitty. Love to see it. Zing zang like. Oh, we got a couple of super chats as well popping up, both at once. Need a missed bunny button. The touch sucks. Honestly, that's a good segment.
The touch sucks.
Get that animation going. We can get an account going as well. You know, that might be ideal to get that rocking. And Paul Blunt coming in. They should wear 905 jerseys until they play better. And honestly, that is 100% facts.
The team might be more interested. Get into the like section if you think or would genuinely watch us creating a 905 digest just to react to some of those games, which probably will be a little bit more interesting for the time being, while the Raptors need to find their footing and hopefully get some of the guys back from injury. Kevin Birch, I think he'll be big. We haven't spoke about him in a while, but with Precious Achiuwa just not really being it, not having any good centers off the bench, not playing Boucher, not wanting to play Boucher right now, I think... Who did I just say? What was this? Kem Birch. I think Kem Birch. I'm really playing there. Oh, God, that was tough. I think Kem Birch will be very impactful when he comes back. Jeez.
Man, that's the thing, right? Because this team, what are we? 9-13 now at this point. We went on a 5-game win streak. We were looking nice just 2 weeks ago, Riker. We had that skill level top notch. And now the hearts are broken. The team is hurting, but you know we dealt with injuries. Siakam had to get reintegrated into the lineup, and I think the eye test shows Scottie and Siakam currently just don't gel well together. Scottie Barnes needs the ball in his hands a little bit more. Siakam's taken out of his hands a lot, so we got to figure that stuff out. You're smiling at some comments there.
People are into the 905.
Okay.
Because people don't even watch the 905, so I guess our reactions would genuinely be informative and rather than just disparaging these losses. Oh, God. I hate when the Raptors are losing.
Yeah, it's tough. But we love having everyone here in the chat to see everyone's talking. People are Logan saying it's tank season, boys. Okay. We do need to figure this out though. At what point would we declare it's officially tanking? You kind of hesitate. You wait to the end of the podcast. But like when do we
14th in the East?
14th. But at what point in the season? Cuz the Wizards were like 15th in this East and they ended up making the playoffs.
But well, if you want to use the Wizards as an exact reference, we do have a big contract for a guy that's underperforming compared to past seasons. And you could have made the argument that the Wizards would have been more benefited to tank rather than push low playoffs and not have a high draft pick. But instead they went just to have a little bit more excitement in the franchise, then traded their big contract guy in the offseason and got incrementally a lot or a little bit? They got
a little bit.
Marginally? That's also a little bit. Exponentially better in the offseason with that trade. So that could be a very perfect comparison if you want to say that, because that's always the argument why you wouldn't want to tank. Even if making the playoffs serves no benefit to the organization because you know you'll be 1 and out. It's just more fun to watch a playoff team. Yeah. That's the argument. And I think Siakam would be I think trades would make more sense before committing to a tank. That's my overall point.
Yeah, you want to see something occur, you know, just to energize. We're too early in the year for the Kazoos, guys. I was thinking about this one, because obviously watching the games, this is why you and I especially don't. Josh seems a little bit more reserved watching his live streams going on, but you and I, in the heat of the moment, get very while the game's in front of our faces, get very into it and extreme emotions. But during the middle of the game, I was thinking, we made the kazoo animation, right? The Paul Pierce golden kazoo, so we could keep that award, keep that sound effect. But if we got 2 animations with the same kazoo sound, that's just gonna be tough, Riker.
That's too much kazooing. So are we suggesting we change the animation back to the Damari Carroll, or are we saying we need a new item to symbolize the tanking season?
We've just pushed it all out. We put all our chips in the table.
Do we need a new item to symbolize the tank? The kazoo was last year's tanking symbol. This year's tanking symbol will be different.
We need someone to make like a Skrillex remix to the kazoo sound if we are going out, if we're tanking for Chet.
What's another kind of like lame instrument that we could kind of pick fun at? The golden recorder or something like that?
Harmonica doesn't have a ring to it.
No. And honestly, harmonicas are kind of cool just because of Piano Man.
Yeah. Piano Man?
Shout out. Yes. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight.
Can you play any obscure instruments right here?
Nope. Can't play any instruments, let alone the obscure ones.
Oh, that's tough. But dubstep.
Ozil the Beast mode. The triangle. Oh, show.
The triangle's fun. The triangles are fun.
The golden triangle. Bing, bing for the owls.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. Another loss, guys. Bing bong, tanking. It could be funny. That could be funny. The golden bagpipe. Shout out. We really lean into the Newfoundland heritage.
Get the accordions out, the ugly sticks.
The
boys are tanking on the way as we are singing on.
We make a big symphony of instruments. Like we just record a bunch of instruments playing, harmonize them, hypercut them all into one like overlap, and then just play. Anyways.
That's see, Andrew saying Siakam for MPJ plus filler. MPJ has no spinal cord. And Siakam, and I think he has a bigger contract than Siakam on more years. That would be tough.
He does. A bicorn, that's right. Yeah. Listen. We're winding down, Ben. Somebody said earlier 10 games under 500. Would you agree that that's a nice place to start fully committing to the tank? Because you're having to really claw out at that point. Although traditionally in the East, teams 3, 4, 5 games under 500 do tend to be in that 7-8 spot. Now I know the East has gotten a lot stronger. And it's weird because you have teams like Philadelphia is 1 game under 500. The Bucks are 500. The Celtics are 500. So you have a bunch of teams that should be a lot better that aren't. So the Raptors are they're still in the mix.
Yeah.
It's just depressing to watch them.
Yeah, it's just not over yet. Like, we need that energy. We need that, to see the buys rocking. Get us excited, right? The Kazoos, we're not sold on the Kazoos just yet. But, when you're watching it, you just feel this aura, this dark cloud of Kazoos falling all over you, It's like when you're in class. What we played recorder. That's what kids play, right? It's not a kazoo. And then you get like some weird kid behind you with like all the spit in it.
You remember those? They had the most obnoxious sounds when you messed up. Like recorders were the number one culprit. An
electric recorder? What are you going?
Bro, what are you saying? There was 2 sounds that were just toxic on the ears. That was chalk. Okay, now I'm certainly dating myself. Chalkboards. I feel like everybody grew up with iPads, but the chalkboard on the nails.
Bro, do you not have the smart boards?
And somebody messing. Well, I had chalkboards for a time. Don't at me.
The first time I used a chalkboard was in university.
That's shocking. And recorders. I swear to you, goes boop 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 boop. Wait.
That's tough. The golden recorder. Man, that's a tough look. But people are saying Siakam's holding the team back, and then Meow the Cat's saying Siakam holding the tank together. We have no. Siakam has to be the most polarizing player I've seen on a Toronto Raptors team right now. Because no matter what you say about him, people are going to flame you. And significant amounts of people are going to flame you if you cheer for him or if you don't. It's pretty tough. And Kitsumi is saying that we by far have the worst bench in the league right now. Is there anything we can do about that, Riker?
Go to Europe. Beg somebody to come over.
The Czech
on
centers.
$750,000 contract.
Freddie Gillespie, bring him back?
Tough.
No.
Bring back old Freddie G.
Honestly, if we're gonna lose though, we may as well.
I prefer to bring back Sam Decker and Ishmael Wainwright before we bring back Gillespie. Not to solve any issues, just to see them play.
Is Biz on a roster right now?
I don't know if he is. That's a great question. And the Gubstown Clink. I feel dirty saying that. Is that
Gubstown
even appropriate to say live?
Well, we both
Clink.
said it right now.
Ryker needs a V symbol on his water bottle. Good call. I think you can buy stickers for pretty cheap. I will get on that, but Svi also needs to play better, or it's a pretty lame sticker. I want playoff experience. Would be good going to the dance with young core like the Hawks 2 years ago. Yep.
No, that's facts.
Yep.
Playoffs are always better, right? But if you're gonna be in that situation where you're the 9th or 10th seed, you don't make it, you barely make it, then, or you just have absolutely zero chance in the first round, that's when you sort of want to just bottom out. Right? If you have a competitive first round series, and that's a very good thing for your squad and all that. But if you're just gonna get slapped or you're not even gonna make it, then you just want to completely bottom out like we did last season. But also the Beast Mo. I'm giving myself a name. I've had to focus and read on that. Saying this Biz is a free agent. I'd like to get Biz. I'd like to get Biz on this roster.
Say less.
Say less?
Ben.
Sign
Say
it?
less. Say less.
Who do we cut?
Say less. Whoever you want to at this point.
Siakam.
Box of Bieber Timbits. Did you see that cross collaboration?
No, what?
Justin Bieber x Tim Hortons. They made 3 new specialty Timbits and some merch. Very random collaboration, but he typically plays well in the celebrity game, so perhaps we look to Justin Bieber to sign a short-term contract to come and play in Toronto, maybe an Exhibition 10 or something like that, or Exhibit 10.
Get Justin Bieber on the roster. Also, we thank the super chat. I don't know if we properly said that, but a box of Bieber Timbits is great value for Siakam. Shout out Paul Blunt. That's big facts. I don't know, Riker. The one thing we do gotta... Tyson was sending me these wild trades this morning, saying Pascal for JV, who just hit 7 threes in his game yesterday. Do you bring back...
I know, he played great. You love to see it. And on top of that, aren't the Timberwolves playing really well right now?
He's not on
what
the
team is he
Timberwolves,
even
but
on?
They are playing better.
What team is he on?
The Timberwolves are playing better, but Jonas is not on
Wait,
that
don't
team.
tell me. Don't tell me. The Pelicans.
Right there.
Who are not playing well.
Who are trash.
Yeah. Would the Timberwolves be better if they had JV, or would he just have to come off the bench for Cat?
Cat and JV might be the worst pick and roll duo in the front court in NBA history.
Cat can stretch though.
No, on offense they'd be fine. Defensively, they would.
Oh yeah.
Whoever offense would be
the worst.
We'll have JV just sagging on all these shooters and Cat sagging on the help. These guards in the West, Dame Lillard would single-handedly go off for 70 just off screens, stand there for 2 seconds, get test the wind, and then shoot those open middies. That'd be a tough with those drop coverages from JV and the boys.
Anyways, Ben, we're approaching 12:30 your time. I've yawned twice or 3 times now on the podcast already. Time to wind it down.
That's fair. We do have a Bueno Kitty saying Bieber P. Tom Duke is saying no to Bieber on the Raptors. You know, maybe it's got to happen. Maybe we do the recruiting. We tank for Bieber. That could be the new thing. Tank for Bugatti Biebs. Get him on the squad. But, you know, you guys are the best for making this far. And games like this, nights like this. If you're coming this far on these post-game podcasts while the Raptors are struggling, they're down in the dumps, the squad is trash, at least in these games, right? And you make it this far on these podcasts, we graciously appreciate, whether you're watching live,
if you make it this far, you might as well create a burner, subscribe again, because we're only 300 likes away from our next giveaway, and we're probably not going to get any new viewers in the slump. So if you want that sweater,
we lose subscribers when the Raptors suck. Our subs are going down. So really, if you want this hoodie, tell your friends, get the merch going. You know, that's just how it goes. But we appreciate you guys as always. We're cooking up a lot of fun stuff. We're making a lot of this stuff as fun as possible, especially while the Raptors are struggling. Because usually when the Raptors are winning, we can kind of just ride the wave. But we gotta create some waves while stuff like this is happening. Paul Blunt's getting the J. Clement Johnson logo in there. But check out the Instagram, the TikTok,
fake
the Twitter. All that cool stuff. Channel membership, hoodies, all that stuff rocking. Riker, do you have any last words on the Toronto Raptors loss to them? Oh, we do have a final super chat. We have a final super chat from Bueno Kitty, who once again is asking for those pain story time coming soon, Riker.
Yes. Short answer. Long answer, soon. The Raptors are bringing me closer to that. Ben.
Bueno Kitty is going to be praying for these losses to get some crazy stories out of Riker.
That's great. That is great.
Man.
Let's sign it off. Oh, the Gubstown chick. Clink. The Gubstown chick. The Gubstown Clink. Burner account created. Wahoo!
Woo!
Then we'll sign it off. Oh, Race Mode Daily. Bing bong. Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Oh, God. There's always somebody like Race Mode Daily keeping the energy and the positivity going, even in times of total chaos and failure. Ben, might as well sign it off. Starting to get late. Getting those sleepy eyes.
We appreciate you all.
Cheers.